Hello everyone, this is Yasir from Fairfax QA Center. In this video, we will learn about basic functionality of HP UFT, for example, record script and run settings, and what is an expert view and how to understand recorded script. But before going to HP UFT and recording the script, let's look at the sample application Mercury Tours that comes with HP UFT for functional testing. Double click on Mercury Tours website. This website is a sample application used to find lowest price flight between countries. You can search for flight and do online reservation by entering your personal and payment information. In order to use the Mercury Tours website, first you have to register. Click on register link. You need to enter your contact information, for example, first name, last name, phone and email, then the mailing information. And at last you have to specify your username and password. Once you are registered, you can go back to home page and enter the username and password to sign in. I already have registered to Mercury Tours website, so I'm going to enter my username and password. You please go ahead and enter your username and password to sign in. So once you will enter your username and password and hit sign in button, you should be landed to Flight Finder page. In this page, you have to select different options to find your required flight. For example, the flight type, either one-way or round trip, number of passengers, departing from, arriving in, and what are your preferences, either you want to travel in economy class, business class, or first class. So once you are done with your selection, you can click on continue button. So Mercury Tours application found following flights according to your entered location, date, and preferences. You can select either one and click on continue button. So this is book a flight page. You can see the summary of your flights. Here you have to enter your personal and payment information and click on secure purchase button to book a flight. So this is final flight confirmation page. You can see the message, your itinerary has been booked. You can see your departing flight and returning flight and the time, number of passenger, one passenger, and this is the total fare. So this is the overview how to use Mercury Tours application. Please remember, this is only sample application. Do not enter your actual personal or payment information. We will use this application to record the script and to do function testing using UFT. The next thing we will learn is how to record the script in HP UFT. We will record the script against register functionality of Mercury Tours application. So let's run HP Unified Function Testing or HP UFT. Double click on HP Unified Function Testing icon. Click on continue button. Since the Mercury Tours is a web application, so we need a web add-in to record the Mercury Tours application script and do function testing. Hit OK button. This is HP UFT home screen. Let's go ahead and create a new solution. Go to File menu, Select new menu item, then select new solution. Enter the solution name, for example, empty Mercury tour underscore 01 underscore register. Click on create button. You can see our solution MT01 register has successfully been created. By definition, a solution can have multiple tests, multiple business component or function libraries. So let's go ahead and create a new test in the solution. Right click on MT01 register solution. Go to add menu item and select add new test. So there are 4 types of tests we can create in HP UFT. Right now we will only stick with GUI test, that is called graphical user interface test. Enter the name of the test, for example T01 underscore register, and click on add button. You can see our register test has been created. Select the test and expand it. Here you will find one action. The simple definition of the action is, action helps to divide your test into logical units or pieces, or in more technical form, the business process. One test may have more than one actions. For example, in a previous video you saw that in order to search the flight in Mercury Tours application, you first have to log in. So if you want to create such flight test, it may have 2 actions. First, login, and second, search flight. You can also rename the action. Right click on action 1 and select rename option. It will move to rename state. Enter the new name, for example register. Press the enter button or do the mouse click. Right now just click on yes button. We will understand this message later in the video. Click on a save icon. Let's record the script for register page of Mercury Tours web application. Click on the record button. This is the record and run settings dialog box. You can see right now we have only web and Windows application tabs. These tabs depends which add-in you select from start of window. If you remember, we only selected web add-in from start of window, so here it is. The Windows application tab would always be there. So in a web tab we have 2 options. The first one, record and run test on any open browser, and the second one is open the following when a record or run session begins. These are quite self-explanatory options. For example, the first option says if there is any open website in the browser, UFT will start recording the script against it once you will start the recording. But in the second option, you are explicitly telling the URL of the application you want to record this script for. We will stick with the second option. This is the URL of Mercury Tours web application. In a browser drop-down, you can select the browser where you want your application to run for recording the script. Here is the list of installed browsers. You can select any browser that you want. For this recording, we will use Microsoft Internet Explorer. We will learn about parameterization later in the video. For now, you can skip it. You can also check these options. Do not record and run on browsers that are already open. And second is close the browser when the test closes. So we are done with our record and run settings. Click on OK button. If your recording doesn't start automatically, click on record button again. You can see this floating recording bar has appeared, and UFT invoked Mercury Tour's web application and opened it in Internet Explorer browser. It means we are ready to record the script against register page. You can see there are different icons and the buttons on the floating bar. For example, call to new action, default, object spy, object repository. We will understand the functionality of each button later in the video. For now, let's go to our register page, enter information so that UFT can record the script against the steps we are doing. Click on register link. Okay, this is a register page. Let's enter information and get registered in Mercury Tour's web application. Enter the first name, for example, Fairfax, last name QA, enter phone number, enter your email address, enter your address, for example, enter your city name, state, postal code, and a country. Next, you have to enter your username and password. I'm entering my username as FairfaxQA and the password as 123456. You can go ahead and enter your username and password. Click on Submit button. Okay, so I am successfully registered in Mercury Tour's web application. You can read the message. My username is FairfaxQA. So now let's go ahead and stop the recording. Click on Stop Recording button. Okay, the script against Mercury Tour's register page has been created. This is Visual Basic Script, also called VB script. Let's try to understand the basics of this script. With the passage of time, when we will learn more concepts of UFT in upcoming videos, it will be more clear to you. This IDE or editor viewing the code or the script is called Expert View. So let's take a single line from Expert View and try to understand it. Take a second line. Each line in an Expert View represents a test step in a VB script. The browser is an object type and the object name is Welcome Mercury Tours. Similarly, the page and the web edit are the object types and their objects names are Register Mercury Tours and the first name. Now the question is, what is an object type and why some objects are coming first and some are coming after this dot operator? Like browser is coming first, then page, and then web edit. First, let's understand an object. Object is anything that has some properties and some functions. Take an example of car as an object. The properties of car can be its size, type, make and model, etc. And the function of car are brakes, acceleration, and anything cars can do. Now there are many companies who make different kinds of car, and they have different names too, like Honda car, Toyota car, or BMW cars. So this word car is more likely used for vehicle type and not vehicle itself. When we talk to each other, what kind or make of car you have, then the usual reply is I have Honda car, I have Toyota car, or I have BMW car, etc. So if you take BMW car as an object, then we can say BMW object type is car and object name is BMW. And if you want to write it as a VB script, then we can do it like this. Whereas the car is the object type and the object name is BMW. Similarly, BMW car can have child objects, for example tires, brakes, seats, etc. If you take tire as an object, then the properties of tire can be its size, make, price, and the function can be rotate. Just for an example, if we would say that tire object name is Goodyear and want to write it as an VB script, then we can do it like this. Car of BMW dot tire, and the tire object name is Goodyear. So in a simple verse, the car is a parent object that is coming first, and the tire is a child object that is coming after the car object, because car has a tire. The same concept applies to descript line. The browser is a parent object that has page object, and page object has different child objects: web edit, first name, web edit last name, web edit phone number, etc. And the script is using the set function of web edit to assign the value to each web edit control. Just for your information, the web edits are the text box controls where we entered information in the register page while recording. Now let's run the script to check it works fine. Click on Run button. You can close your existing browser instances if they are already open. Right click on Internet Explorer icon and select Close Window. As soon we will click on Run button, script will invoke the Mercury Tours web application and open it in Internet Explorer browser, and then will perform the steps that we recorded earlier. At the end of the execution, it will show us the final result. So click on Run button. This is our test run result. Our test is passed. You can see this green icon. There is zero error and zero warning, and all the steps of the test are also passed.